Hey everybody, it's your Finance Girl, Jaquilla Ross. Welcome back to Finance Friday. So last week I didn't necessarily post a video, but I did give you all a sneak peek of my new logo and my new name, Finance Girl. So whenever you think of finances, make sure you think of your girl, Jaquilla Ross. And just to give you all a preview of some things that I have coming up. So there are many great things that I'm working on right now, so please keep your eye out. Continue to follow the brand. Continue to share these videos amongst your peers and your Facebook family and your Instagram family. Yes, and I am so appreciative for all of your support thus far. All right. So today I want to take a moment and talk about renting a home versus owning a home. So typically sometimes I get folks to say, hey, I'm ready to buy a home, Jaquilla. Like, what do I need to do? Or some people like, you know what? I'm just always going to rent a home because it's easier for me. So, of course, do what's best for you. But I want to give you a financial perspective on the difference between renting and owning a home. All right. So we have this lovely thing called an accounting equation. Right? So your accounting equation is assets, what you own, equals liabilities, what you owe, plus equity. Right? Equity essentially is your net worth, which is your assets minus your liabilities. And within equity also includes, any expenses that you have every month, like just expenses, not necessarily, not paying a loan off. Paying a loan off is not an expense. Any expenses that you have, so like your cable bill, your cell phone bill, your rent that you pay if you don't own a home, those things are a decrease to your equity, which in turn are a decrease to your net worth. Okay, so keep following me. So when you rent a home or an apartment, that is going to continue to decrease your net worth. All right, it's going to be a decrease. Now, it's not to say it's going to overall decrease your net worth because it depends on what assets you own. But every time you pay, your rent, it will be a deduction to your overall net worth. Right. So we know renting a home is essentially you're paying money to a landlord or a leasing company. There's no type of return or benefits, financial benefits from it. Besides the fact that, it's more easier. You don't have to deal with any responsibilities that come up with the home, as such. All right. So very straightforward. Again, many people are much more comfortable renting a home because they don't want to have to deal with the things that come with ownership, right? So if your toilet break down, you call your landlord or your leasing company for that. So just an example. So let's talk about owning a home, right? So when you purchase a home, your assets, what you own, increase by the value of your home. Your liabilities, what you owe, also increase. Okay. However, if you took a loan out on a home, which typically most people do, right? So, that equation is still in balance, right? So, then if you typically your house is pretty valued either at the same or your loan or sometimes a little bit more. And then, you net those two together and that gives you the net worth on your home, right? Or in other words, the equity in your home. So over time, you're paying on your mortgage. So your liability is going to decrease, okay? And your asset, the value of your home, typically over time increases as well, depending on what neighborhood you stay in as such. So as you can see where I'm going here, owning a home essentially is going to, over time, increase your net worth because your liability is going down and the value of your home potentially will go up every single year, right? Now, yes, it does come with the responsibilities such as, again, if the toilet breaks down, you have to take care of that. Anything that goes wrong with the home, it is your responsibility. But in the long run, it is going to increase your overall personal net worth versus renting does not, okay? Because it's an expense that's going to continue to be a deduction to your net worth versus an increase to your net worth, right? So you're like, okay, Jaquilla, but, what if my credit is bad and I can't purchase a home and things like that? Then that means you got to take step one and work on your credit report. There are so many programs out here that are geared towards first-time home buyers where essentially you can get grants to help with your closing costs. They will walk you through a process to get your credit together before you actually apply for a home loan. There's help out here. So there's truly no excuse if you are true about wanting to own a home. And the reality is your mortgage payment will be significantly cheaper than your rent. I'll use me as an example. I'll put my business out there because I want to give you all a real life experience. When I graduated from college, in the midst of me in grad school, I was living in Whitewater because I went to grad school in Whitewater, and I wanted to come back home. And as I was looking for places, everywhere that I wanted to stay at was charging at least $1,000 for rent, if not more. So all the nice apartments towards downtown, everyone was charging a whole lot of money. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. My mom and my aunt had already purchased their homes. I knew how much they were paying for their mortgages, and they have 3+ bedroom home, up and down, finished basement, all that great stuff. And they were paying way less than that for their homes. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go through the process and purchase me a home. And, thanks be, I purchased my first home at the age of 23. My mortgage is $511. Yes, I don't mind putting my business out there because I want you all to understand that it is much more cheaper to my pockets for me to own my home than to rent a home. Okay? Do things come up? Absolutely. But, I've been very fortunate that nothing major has came up, and I have been in my home nearly 7 years. Next month will make 7 years, and I have not had any major breakdown. Let's knock on wood for that. Okay? Little plumbing things come up here and there, but overall, it's been a wonderful experience. I can do whatever I want to in my home. If I want to knock a wall down, I can do that. If I want to paint, some crazy colors on the wall, I can do that. I have remodeled my yard multiple times. I can plant flowers, take flowers out. I can do whatever I want to do because I own it. And every year since I've owned this house, my value of my home has increased, which means my net worth continue to increase. Okay. So again, I just wanted to give you all a financial perspective. Now there's so many more details about purchasing a home and what that all entails. And I highly recommend, if you are thinking about purchasing a home, keep an eye out for those home ownership workshops, especially in the city of Milwaukee or wherever you live at. More than likely, the city that you live in offer these workshops because they want more people to have home ownership, right? And another tidbit that I want to leave you all with is that the economists are predicting that we are going to head into a recession next year. Now, some people are like, oh my God, freaking out. We head into recession. You never know what can happen. Here's a cool thing, and I know that's kind of contradicting. Here's a cool thing about potentially being a recession. It's going to become a buyer's market. Interest rates for home mortgages may take a nice decrease. So that means that it would be the perfect time for you to go out and purchase a home if that is a goal of yours, right? Again, nothing against renting. I just want to give you all a financial perspective of the difference between on how it impacts your personal net worth, right? City girls say, what's your net worth? And that song with Drake, and essentially you want your net worth to be positive. You want it to be as high as possible, because if what you own minus what you owe is greater than $1 million, guess what? You're a millionaire. So you want to have investments. You want to have a home and increase the value of that home as much as you can over time and get rid of that loan, so then it increase your net worth even more. Let's work on having positive high net worths, because that is what's going to help us build generational wealth, right? So this has been your finance girl, Jaquilla Ross, and I'll see you all next week.